Maggie, and I want to share today my story with infertility. I was diagnosed when I was 17 years old with premature ovarian failure. Now I am 30 years old, and just want to start from the beginning. Back when I was a younger teenager and in middle school, back I can even remember from fifth grade when they show you the movie, and all your teachers and friends start talking about when you get your first period, and just preparing for that to happen the whole time. So um and I remember in middle school and still hadn't gotten it yet and thinking it's just a late bloomer. Friends were talking about getting theirs, and then as time went on and into high school and it still hadn't happened, I just kind of stopped talking about it, and just didn't know what to say with it, and didn't really talk to my mom or my friends about it, just because I knew that it was weird that it had not happened yet. And then when I was 17, I got into a car accident, and they needed to do an x-ray or CT or something like that. So the nurse asked if when my last period was, and if there was any chance I could be pregnant. And I was semi-conscious, having just gotten out of the car accident. So I told her, no, I've never gotten a period. So, and I don't remember much beyond that, from telling her that, other than she told my parents that I had never gotten a period. And then after I healed up from the car accident, I was taken to a pediatric endocrinologist back in Des Moines, where I lived at the time. And that doctor ran some tests, did some ultrasounds, and she gave me the diagnosis of premature ovarian failure. And I remember being really sad at the time. I remember just her being what I perceived as kind of cold about it. And I remember for some reason that she was pregnant at the time, and knowing then that would not, I didn't think then that would ever be in the cards for me to get pregnant. And it was really hard. I was at the appointment with my dad. It's kind of awkward because I'd been sent to the pediatric because I was 17, but also 17 is kind of borderline. So, but it's an awkward time to talk about infertility because, most people don't want teenagers to get pregnant. And obviously I didn't want to get pregnant when I was a teenager, but it's still a shock to get that news that before really reproductive life has even started, that it's over. So I remember that. I remember my mom tried to talk to me about it. My dad didn't talk to me about it. He was at the appointment. We didn't chat about it. I remember that day getting the news with the doctor being pregnant, crying in the office, my dad not knowing how to comfort me. I remember I had a foreign exchange student coming to visit that week. She was from France, and so I couldn't go home and just cry about it. I had to, be a host to this student. So that's what I remember, is just kind of having to put on a happy face and deal with it. And then I still didn't talk to many of my friends about what was going on. Just kind of took the medications that my endocrinologist prescribed, some hormone replacement type stuff. And then I was able to get a period after some time of taking medications that put me on hormone replacement at first, and then just birth control pills. So for some time I just kind of stuffed those feelings down, didn't really deal with it. And for a while, I didn't really know of any pathway to get pregnant, so I just kind of thought, I don't really want kids anyhow. So, or I thought at the time that, maybe just take my mind off of wanting that for my life, because I didn't think that that would be possible. So, so I was kind of denial with it, and then as I got older and I started dating my now husband Ryan, I kind of opened myself up to that possibility. I went back to a different endocrinologist, and at that time I was 26 years old. I'm now 30 years old. But at 26, the endocrinologist confirmed what the original doctor had said, and I remember that doctor was even more cold about it and called me over the phone to kind of report her findings, to save me a trip to the doctor's office. Instead, I get, sad news. It kind of hit me all over again when she confirmed the diagnosis, and there wasn't anything that they could do about the premature ovarian failure. And it's not that I thought that there would be something that the doctor could do. It's just it's a grieving process to get that diagnosis. It's grieving something that you thought was going to happen, and it's not going to happen how you thought it was. And sometimes you think maybe a doctor would give you good news or something hopeful, and but sometimes there's limits to what medicine can do. And so, yeah, she gave me that phone call while I was on my lunch break at work, and then again had to go back and put on a happy face and go back to it. This time I was 26, different spot in life, and had to share that news with not news, but share this information with my boyfriend. And, that's hard news for him to get too, because, he had to grieve that too, because we were seriously dating at the time. So that's been a whole process to go through. However, I am kind of grateful for the diagnosis in a way now that I've had some time to process it, because at least we know the reason for the infertility and can make a game plan based on that, and don't need to go through the steps to figure out what the diagnosis is. So that brings me to now, where the main course of treatment for a woman with premature ovarian failure is to pursue IVF with a donor egg. So that's the process that we're starting right now, is to try to find an egg donor and go through the screening on that, so that we can do IVF in the future. On this channel, I hope to share more about premature ovarian failure, the IVF process, and infertility in general, and kind of be a resource for people who are in a similar situation, because I don't see people talking about premature ovarian failure very often, but I know that I'm not the only one that goes through it. So I'd love to share more about it, to bring awareness. So thank you so much for watching, and hope to keep in touch.